So today we have a game from my lovely clan friend Joe. He's in his T95, which is a tier 9 tank destroyer on the American tech tree. Now this is a very thickly armoured assault tank destroyer. It's not one that you want to sit back and snipe. You would really want to get up close and personal in the action. Now we're on Fisherman's Bay, or as I like to call it, Shitterman's Bay, one of my least favourite maps in the game. I just find it so infuriating to play. The way I normally do it is I go on the 1-2 line, heavy, medium, normally regardless, I go there. I like to rush forward and then capture the enemy base. You spot the enemies, you can get nice spotting damage. If you end up camping there, all that happens is both sides camp until the middle is won, and you end up doing nothing of importance. So that is really my favourite strategy on this map, and to be fair, I have had some rather good games deploying that strategy. But I find the city map area of this map very stale, normally ends in stalemate. You get shot from the middle, so I just find it not a very dynamic map. Nonetheless, let's see what Joe has in store. Now, I'm watching this live for the first time with you guys. I've not seen this before, so I'm interested to see his maneuvers. First things first, he has an excellent matchmaking with tier 8s and, crucially, no artillery. Now, artillery in this game is complete and utter bonkers. They sit at the back, lobbing shells over in an unrealistic fashion. The worst offender being certainly the M44. It completely destroys low tier gameplay. Higher tier artilleries are no better. That being said, very shortly a new update is coming, reworking artillery slightly. Now the shells will be split into 3 different types. Armor piercing shells are back, ladies and gentlemen, but not like they were before. They will no longer be dealing ridiculous amounts of damage. They've nerfed the damage to a much more reasonable and manageable level. Their penetration is not very good anyway, so in fact I don't really see much use of these armor piercing shells, considering the high explosives are going to be doing much more consistent damage. Now, there will be 2 choices of high explosive shells on offer. One that does the stun with a slightly lower damage, and one that doesn't stun but does more damage, which is exactly what should have happened, because when you've got stunness, oh look at that beautiful, oh very poor RNG there, very poor. But when you've got the stun combined with the ridiculous amounts of damage and the quick rate of fire, as perfectly summed up on the M44, you literally have cancer in the game. Now, another thing I've noticed is that Joe is using the 122mm gun, and again, it's been attacked by the RNG. Now, when I use this tank and grinded through it, I didn't even ever equip the 155mm because I quite enjoyed the rate of fire and the accuracy of the 120mm. Oh, lovely shot there. But people who know me know I do tend to prefer higher rate of fire, high DPM, low damage per shot. That's why one of my favourite tanks in the game is the Tortoise, also at tier 9, but realistically most people will be playing the T95 with the 155mm gun for that big punch. You can scare away opponents. You can really get your teeth into the damage. But my only issue is, say it's a 1v3 situation and all enemies are about 300 HP. One shot of 750 damage but a long reload means you're easily going to be flanked. Whereas a shot, oh, that's a poorly aimed shot there, nonetheless. It is an enemy T95, so I hate when you're in one of these things. It's horrible fighting yourself because everyone knows where the weak spots are. It's just irritating. But when you've got a low damage per shotgun but high DPM, it's much easier to defend yourself when you're outnumbered, in my opinion, because you can bam away. Oh, look at that, a progetto. Or again, RNG has not been favourable to Joe in this match so far. Everyone loves to see the rear of a T95. What could be more beautiful than that? Yes, finish him off. We see here Joe is actually in a sticky situation, a much needed fire there. I would finish off the T95, then try and get shots in that T55A. But when you're in a T95, and as long as you keep your back to the wall and covered, you can just face the enemies. Now, the Progetto is making them run for it. What's Joe going to do? Well, the Progetto is looking like it's going to try and flank. Joe needs to really turn his tank. He's used his repair kit already. Yep, a bad miss there. However, the Progetto does not know what he's doing. He should have committed to going around or run away. Instead, he let the T110 come to Joe's aid, and now he's gone. 3,700 damage and still full HP. That's impressive, I must say. Very good gameplays. Didn't lose his nerve, and now he's going to ram forward. Although it's still only 8-8, so this game is not won yet. Cheeky shot there on the side, up to 4,000. Now outnumbered again, but as I say, this is a T95, and these are some beautiful flanking shots there. But they're losing it still, actually. So even though Joe has done 4,500 damage, the game is not won. That being said, they are plus 3,000 HP plus 4,500 HP now, so it's not as bad, to be fair. Now, what I would do is I would probably go forward and try and put pressure on them. But that is a nice shot there. Oh, beautiful. Now finish him off. See, in that situation, I don't believe, actually, whether the 750 gun would have been the best gun to use. He's able to get the 2 shots in quick succession. Also, because people don't expect the 120mm gun on the T95, they sometimes think you fired the 750 and just come out and don't realise you got the very fast reload and can get caught off guard. He's going to finish off the Conqueror and going to take him over 5,000 damage, of course. Fantastic game. And there's still chance for some more damaging kills. Finished off the Conqueror. Honestly, I have not actually, in my own gameplay, had a game in the T95 as good as this. Oh, nasty bounce there. See, it's only 11-11. So really, Joe's really carried this game from the get-go. Pushing, being aggressive, have you noticed? He didn't hang back sniping. Whenever I see a sniping T95, I literally want to bash my head against the wall. Why on earth would you play a thickly armoured, slow assault tank to snipe? What is wrong with you people? This is exactly how the T95 should be played. Calmly, but aggressively. This is why I always recommend to new players to start with a slower tank. Because we all did it at the start. When you got the speed, it's so tempting to rush forward, and then you find yourself overstretching and you get surrounded. I remember the first time I played the Cromwell. The speed was beautiful. And back then with the old physics, it was much easier to flank, especially those casemate tank destroyers. They had much slower traverse speeds back then. But in my pursuit of wanting to flank, many times I would go so far forward, I just get eaten alive. So there's 3 enemies left. The G-Saw's also here. Look at this. Almost 6,000 damage. 6,000 damage. Excellent. I always love platooning with Joe. He's on quite a number of my videos now. Excellent. If you see him on the forums, give him a shout out. We always do so well together. He's going to join, and yep, this is always a trick to do. If you're on 3 kills, and then someone else on your team is also on 3 kills, have a look. If you can join a platoon, you get a free Brothers in Arms. Unbelievable. I don't think that should be allowed, but it is. I always do it. You're just going to get extra medals. It just looks a bit nice, and it's just, it doesn't mean anything, but it's nice to have, those extra medals. But yeah, Joe is an excellent platoon mate. He helped me mark the Matilda 4. Always down for platoon. He plays a lot as well. He's a very lovely person. Oh, this game has suddenly got a bit interesting. Crap indeed. His platoon mates died, and there's 2-2. And they're against 2 Tier 9s and an autoloader. So this actually is not where you want to be in a T95, facing two enemies, one to the left and one to the right, but you're in an open field. Now, he's going to need the G-Saw 1008 to come up the south and try and put pressure on. I would personally keep trying to move forward. You know it, they're in front of you, actually, that's good. I would try and go to that rock where that destroyed tank is. Luckily with the T95, it does have weak points. However, at this range, the armor does hold up rather well. And excellent, we've spotted the Char Future. The G-Saw's putting the shots in. Is he going to finish him off? Yes! Another one for Joe. 6,200. Here comes the T55A. He should nicely finish him off now as he comes over the rock. Misplay by the enemies there. They really should have kept either the distance or set up a nice kill zone. The T55A does have extraordinary heat shells, so it will punch through the armor of the T95 much easier than perhaps some other tier 9s. And this is going to be dangerous. 1v1, and it is in an open position. This could go either way, actually, and I don't know the result of the game before either. I just get sent these replays and I click them and do a commentary. Now, also take note, Joe's only got 3 shells left of the AP or APCR, and then he's got HE shells. Personally, I would put pressure on, or nasty miss there. I wouldn't go to HE with this gun. I don't believe a HE would do enough. I would stay with the AP, but you've only got 2 AP shells left. Every hit needs to count. You need to connect those shots. Now, if I was the T55A, I would create some space. What you want to do is create distance where you're spotting Joe in the T95, and you can get around its sides, because its traverse speed is much better than it used to be. But I'm pretty sure at T55A, if it can get around the sides, it can do it. This is where you need the HP, you see. If he had a bit more HP and he could literally just absorb a shot and get around. What is he doing? No. Very poor play from the T55A there, but excellent job by Joe. King of the hill for him. 6,497 damage, 5 kills, 4,470 blocked. And remember, guys, that was with the stock 120mm gun. Excellent gameplay. Well worth a watch. Thanks for sending that, Joe. I thoroughly enjoyed that.